Reading Justin Baldoni's text messages really just makes you sad. Seeing the way Mike Godley was treating him in the depositions, well, you could say he's doing his job, but it's also sad. Let's get into it. F around and find out. Hello there, beautiful people, and welcome back to another episode of F Run and Find Out. I'm your host, Elsie. I appreciate you for being here. And today I brought one of my absolute favorite people in this case. You may not know her because she likes to hide in the back and work literally as admin from the back. We're going to call her Admin Carol from now on. This is Carol, who literally runs docketupdates.com. I've told you guys about docketupdates.com 100 times. If you're like trying to catch up on this case on your own and you don't know where to go, this is the website. This is Carol, the woman behind it, the brains behind it. And today she's going to hang out with us. Hi, Carol, and welcome to Fafo and Associates.
Hi, Elsie. Thank you for having me. I appreciate you shouting out the website. I do want to add, Sarah does help me on some of the legal stuff. She's so smart.
Carol, like whenever people come up here, I ask them what motivated you. If you could just summarize for us very quickly, like what motivated you to get into this, or what was it that sparked your interest in this case?
Just from the get-go, it just didn't sit right with me when I only heard the BL side of the story. It just gut feeling. I work off a lot of like how I feel, and it just never sat right with me. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. I just didn't see Justin that way. And I think that I don't think he deserves what he's going through.
Yeah, I think that's the sentiment a lot of people had that so pretty much what we're going to cover today here, Carol and I already talked, but we're going to bring you guys Justin's deposition. But before that, Carol, I don't know if you got a chance to see this. This is Justin's, and this broke my heart, if I'm being honest with you. This is back in January after the luncheon, the brunch that was supposed to happen at Blake's house, where she pretty much told Justin, oh, you can come by yourself or you can bring Jamie or whomever, which thank God he didn't go alone.
Honestly, it felt like a setup since that.
Yeah. And I always say the way she asked, you can come by yourself, or I don't know if Jamie will be available, Jamie can come, or everybody else can come. This is what happened with everybody there. Can you just imagine if he went by himself? I just want you to picture what happens. What if he went by himself? They could have claimed anything happened at that house, and he would have no recourse. There is nothing he could say to convince us didn't happen there. They could have said he did something to Blake at that house, and we would have no reason other than to believe them. Okay. This is what Ray messages him after the meeting.
Any update, brothers?
Sorry for not giving an update. Last night was one of the hardest nights of my life. It's hard to describe what happened exactly. The only way to describe it was an ambush. I had no words. I couldn't formulate sentences. My brain was trying to defend itself when they were needing me to apologize for all the ways I have fucked up and have made her feel unsafe. Ryan was talking to me like a 5-year-old and scolding me. They essentially said that Jamie and I are not who we claim to be. For us to have a podcast is unsafe because it makes people feel like we are safe. I was read from a phone all of the things that I did, while many of them were based in actual situations. The events were wrong and things were taken completely out of context. The word creepy and abuse were used in reference to me in my behavior. I was then given the words of what to say and had to apologize, which I was unable to do because my brain was trying to comprehend what was happening. I was in shock and basically went into feeling like I was a 7-year-old again. I was emotionally paralyzed. It was as bad as it sounds. Jamie did a beautiful job apologizing. I did not have the words. I was embarrassed for myself as it happened in front of the team, but I was embarrassed that I was unable to even formulate the correct words to apologize and honestly just feel like a bad person. Mm-hmm. It's hard to feel so much of what they believe about me is false because they are so convinced that it's real. Looking for the nuggets of learning, which there are many, and somehow have shown up today, and some have showed up today. Thanks to Jamie and my wife, we are currently shooting. I love you all. My brain was struggling because what I wanted to say and do was run and blow this whole movie up because I feel this was just unjust, and yet the only path forward was to acknowledge her and Ryan's feelings and apologize and take the wrath of an angry husband. Yeah, I couldn't even do that correctly. Wow. I have to pause because
yeah, I feel like we're seeing raw emotions.
And even to read this, I'm just imagining him. He probably had to sit in his thought for a long time before writing this.
Mm-hmm.
but also like to to come to bring yourself to a place to accept, oh my God, as much as I know I didn't do this, even then you can hear him in the message still trying to give them the benefit of the doubt. Like, dang, what if I actually made them
Yep.
feel like this? And he even trying to say, all I wanted to do was blow the movie up. I wish he had blown the movie up.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like that would have been a reaction he can't come back from, in a sense that Blake would have won. Because
Mm-hmm.
why else would you blow your movie up if this is not true? You know, you can't convince anybody else.
Yeah. I think for him, it was also this like reality and what he was being met with it was just such a big discrepancy or just such a big gap that
Yeah.
you can't reconcile. And that's exactly what that sounds like.
Oh my God. Crazy. Let's pick up like right here. Prayed and I prayed and prayed for the words and it didn't come. So I felt abandoned by God in that moment, even though I know that's not what happened. And that's reminiscent to something I've said multiple times in videos in the past. I don't know, Carol, if you remember, but I've always had this thing where I say, if you're Justin and you have such strong faith, right? And you are probably like, oh my God, where is God? Where is God right now? I need help. In this moment, you're seeing everything that's happening and how people are coming to your defense. And God may not come when you call him, but he's always on time because the support he's getting now, only God. But the way the support has come for that man, it's downright spiritual, if you will.
He goes, he goes back to what he knows,
Yeah, yeah,
and who he is.
exactly.
And that's how he grounds himself.
We were told this was the worst experience of her life, and others have witnessed this behavior, and the behavior on our set was creepy. I was emotionally paralyzed, which is something I haven't experienced in years. Imagine that meeting all those years ago at Soul Pancake with Golriz, but times that by about 100. I spoke to my therapist for an hour, and she tried to get me out of the haze as I literally could not get myself off the couch. I don't know how I will make it through, but I know that I will. And just knowing you're all there for me means the world to me because even with Jamie here and my wife and my family, I've never felt so alone. Wow. Putting a smile on, doing my best to lead the crew. I will unpack and process this when we wrap, of course. I apologize for the vulnerability dump. This is one of the few safe spaces I have right now. I love you all. Thank you for your prayers.
Justin, you were ambushed. You reacted the only way you could. Hold on to your beliefs and keep moving forward. God is all glorious and is with you. Our prayers and strength and protection continue. We are with you in spirit and love you with all our hearts. And then Rain says, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. You were set up and ambushed and personally attacked. I'm stunned. I completely relate to you being stunned like a deer in the headlights. Probably better that you didn't immediately just start apologizing. So grateful that Jamie is your partner and could step up diplomatically as needed. Onwards, brother, make a great and important, entertaining piece of storytelling. That's all you can do now. So
So
sorry
sorry.
what you went through.
And this is redacted again.
I love you all and we'll keep praying for you. Congrats on getting back to film, even though you feel like you have been through a war. God answers all of our prayers and not in the ways that are obvious at times. You have many friends who love you and who are connected to your soul. And Travis Van Winkle says, love you so much. You are both freaking warriors.
I don't want to be dramatic, but like the man had no words, literally. He said he was stuck in his couch. Like, I mean, imagine someone just like bringing you in a meeting where you just think la di da, we about to talk about whatever, and then they dump all of this on you. Pretty much, you question everything you think you are. Like, who am I? Like, who am I? Am I this person? Like, did I do these things? Like, it's almost like I don't want to call it gaslighting, but like we've at this point we've brainwashed you. We've made you believe you're this person enough that you can't even open your mouth to apologize and move on whatsoever. We're going to read Justin Baldoni's deposition right now. I'll play Justin and Carol is going to be my Gottlieb. All right, Carol, kick it off.
Interview with Glamour Magazine, is that right?
I don't know which magazine it was. I remember talking about it only once, and it was right after a speech that I gave.
Okay. After that TED Talk that you gave?
Yes, at TED Women.
Do you recall being asked the question prompting that answer? Did you ever feel like you harassed or victimized on set?
I don't remember that.
Okay, but as you sit here today, this is the first example that you have brought up in response to my question of whether you ever been sexually harassed.
That's the first response that I think you asked me if I've ever talked about it publicly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why did you feel harassed by what this producer did?
Well, he was asking me to get naked in a hot tub with him and standing very close to me with his naked genitals, like intentionally walking close to my face. It was just him and I in there. And he was using the idea that it cuts off and we jump to page 22. And then Justin answers no.
So he didn't assault you.
I wouldn't call it assault. I don't believe I characterized it as assault.
I didn't say you did, sir.
Yeah.
You were bigger and stronger than this guy, right?
I would imagine I was.
This wasn't someone the size of Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, or something like this, or something like that.
It was not.
So if it had come to it, you probably could have knocked the guy out.
Objection. And Justin says, I'm not much of a fighter. I would have left. It didn't work for the guy.
Didn't work for the guy, right?
No.
So you had employment relationship with him.
No, I didn't.
Okay, do you know who he was?
I think he had told me his name, but it cuts off.
Did you try and find him after the incident and talk to him about it?
No.
Did you find him before you talked about this event in Glamour magazine?
Objection. No.
You didn't want to give him an opportunity to take accountability for his actions and make it right?
I didn't name him.
But you described him, and you described who he was friends with and the spa you were in.
Objection. I don't know if I described who his friends were.
Do you know his name as you sit here today?
No.
I think you've already talked about your experience with your college girlfriend. Is that right?
Yes. Then we jump to page 27, and then Justin says no.
Did you ever get back to talk to any of the college friends or people that you may have hung out with mutually and tell them what you were going to do?
I don't know anybody from back then.
Do you have any idea whether or not your college girlfriend would agree with the way you remembered the events relating to the losing of your virginity?
Objection. Justin says, I don't know what she would think. I don't know who she is anymore.
You thought it was okay to go on TV and tell the world that your college girlfriend had sexually abused you without ever talking to her about it?
Objection. Justin says, I wasn't aware I needed to ask her permission to share my story.
Am I right that one of the things that was most traumatic about this to you is that you, and that cuts off.
Then we jump to page 34. I hate when they cut you off mid-sentence. All right, Justin says, a set with all Baha'is? I don't know.
Well, so you're the director and you're the co-founder of the studio, and I'm here and asking you, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, someone has told me that your set is a Baha'i set, okay?
Are you giving me a objection?
Just let me finish my question.
Okay.
So let's establish some principles. You're the co-founder of Wayfair Studios, correct?
Correct.
Or the director of It Ends With Us, correct?
Correct.
Producer?
No.
Lead actor?
A second lead actor.
Second lead actor. And I come to you now and I say, Mr. Baldoni, you're the director of this film and you're the co-founder of this studio. Someone
cuts off again. It jumps to page 52. Jump to page 52. Then it goes, Justin responds to the policy that is directly in front of me. I don't know if I've ever read this policy.
Okay, so do you know if you've ever had any kind of training on this policy, this anti-discrimination, anti-harassment, or anti-retaliation policy?
Yes, I believe I have.
When was that?
I think every couple years.
When was the last time you attended one?
In person.
At all, virtually or in person?
Virtually, I completed mine last week.
Okay,
For this year.
for the year 2025.
Yes.
Prior to that, do you recall the last time you had training on this policy?
I imagine it was 2 years before that.
Do you recall there ever being training on anti-discrimination, anti-harassment, and anti-retaliation during the production of It Ends With Us?
Yes,
Did you attend the training?
I did.
Did you attend that training in person?
Yes.
Where was it?
In our production offices.
On the set in New Jersey?
Not a set, but the production offices in New Jersey.
Okay, the production offices in New Jersey, near where? Strike that.
Yeah.
Strike that.
All right.
It's a bad question. Okay, we'll come back to that. During that training, do you remember going through examples or scenarios of types of conduct that would be a violation or a potential violation of this anti discrimination, anti harassment, and anti retaliation policy?
I can't remember specifics. That was the bulk of the harassment training.
Was there a presentation?
We jumped to page 77. My God, leave again.
Okay, I'm most interested in what you said publicly about how, in your view, being exposed to pornography repetitively affects one's view of consent. Do you recall giving a talk called "Boys Will Be Human," a talk on healthy masculinity with Justin Baldoni?
I wrote a book called Boys Will Be Human, and I imagine I've done a talk or two. Yeah.
Some interviews about the subject of the book.
Is this a speech that I gave or is this an interview that I gave?
This is during an interview, and I want to read you what you said. You said, as read, when you hit 11 or 12 years old and your friends have a phone and maybe you don't, and you're being shown things for the first time, and then you start to think that is what women want. And in porn, as we know, no means yes or try harder. It starts to become very confusing, which is definitely something that happened to me.
All right. We jumped to 79. Consent. But what I'm essentially saying is there's even a possibility that in my teens and 20s, I wasn't aware.
Well, literally, what you said is, as read, I'm sure I have crossed boundaries and lines in my teens and 20s, not even thinking about it simply because of the porn I was consuming. So that's what you said. And my question to you is, do I understand your testimony to be that you were essentially making that up in order to make other men feel you were relatable to them?
Objection. No. I'm sure I had crossed boundaries in my teens and 20s. I'm sure I have.
And do you think that was because of the exposure that you had to do this kind of toxic pornography?
I'm sure that was part of it. It was also a different time and part of why I wrote the book. Consent wasn't taught to boys, and I wanted to make sure that we taught consent to boys and men. We jumped to 116.
Okay, you hugged Miss Lively on multiple occasions on the set, right?
Yes.
Every day?
Objection. No.
How many times would you estimate?
That I hugged Miss Lively?
On the set. So outside of the set environment, but at work on the set.
Objection. Oh, God. Are these hugs? I'm so sorry.
Sorry, this is.
Are these hugs that I initiated or are these hugs that I was a recipient of?
You can characterize it however you'd like.
I just want to be as accurate in my testimony as possible.
Okay.
As it relates to the hugging, that was my question. That was the question. Which one?
You can include hugs that you believe you initiated and hugs you believe Miss Lively initiated.
Objection. Justin says, like, lump them all together? Oh, poor
Sure,
Justin.
your best estimate.
Okay.
Number of times.
Objection. Maybe a greeting and an exit. So at the most, maybe. Again, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. That's my answer to you, Mr. Godlieb. I don't know.
Fair enough. And when you don't know, that's what I always want your answer to be.
I don't know.
Do you know who Vivian Baker is?
Vivian Baker is Miss Lively's makeup artist, I believe.
Do you know that she's testified under oath in this case?
I assume her testimony would be under oath.
Do you know that she testified under oath in this case?
Yes.
Are you aware that she testified that there was a culture of hugging on the set of It Ends With Us?
I am now.
Are you aware that she said that that made a number of people uncomfortable?
I find that odd.
You find that odd? Why?
Guys, just brace yourself for this part. Because Mrs. Baker was often the one that would run up and give me a hug.
And because of that, you find it odd that she testified that a number of people felt uncomfortable with the culture of hugging on the set of It Ends With Us?
Correct.
Do you remember earlier when you testified about the hot tub?
You're referring to what? Sexually harassed?
When you were sexually harassed in the hot tub? Pause, because how does that relate to the hot
Hugging culture. I
and
hate.
Miss Baker? Miss Baker, I don't blame you for running up to Justin to give him a hug.
I'm so mad. Oh, the whole hug section makes me mad. The whole hug thing.
Written as read. As the two climax at the same time, they lock eyes and cannot help but smile, baffled that they found each other.
Yes.
Whose idea was it to add the two climax at the same time?
Christy Hall.
When did she communicate that to you?
We did it. We were writing together. We were in a room in my office. We were specifically working on a lot of the sex scenes and
sorry, go ahead.
And we were writing a movie that was filled with romance and lust and intimacy and sex. And again, these are all outlines, right? So a script has far less descriptions than a book. So you have It Ends With Us, which has a ton of pages and very detailed descriptions of various scenes so that you can paint the picture in your mind, and all writers do. We jump to page 176 and my Godlieb says,
conversation with Miss Lively about the scene in which you discussed you and your wife.
Objection. I remember a conversation not discussing a scene where I brought up my wife. Yes.
And what do you recall bringing up?
The day before, I had a meeting with the intimacy coordinator to go over ideas for all of these scenes. I wrote down a bunch of notes from that meeting. The following day, I had a meeting set with Miss Lively to specifically talk about the sex scenes. That was the actual point of the meeting. In that meeting, I read through and walked through the notes that I had discussed with the intimacy coordinator. Keep in mind, the intimacy coordinator, she did not want to meet, by the way. The day before, I had a meeting with the intimacy coordinator to go over ideas for all of these scenes. I wrote down a bunch of notes from that meeting. We've seen those notes, by the way, from Timeline of Relevant Events. The following day, I had a meeting set with Miss Lively to specifically talk about the sex scenes. That was the actual point of the meeting. In that meeting, I read through and walked through the notes that I had discussed with the intimacy coordinator. One of them was an idea that had come up where Ryle and Lily were making love. Lily had climaxed or had an orgasm, to speak frankly here, and Ryle did not. And the idea, as the intimacy coordinator and I were talking about things that women have not seen on camera yet, things that would be unique, that would be attractive to the female gaze, which was the purpose of that meeting. The idea was that Ryle would then stop and just say, watching you was enough, or I'm good, or something like that. When When I shared that with Miss Lively, she then made it personal and said, "Oh God." I just don't believe she and Ryan actually even have sex, so this is so pointless to me. She said, because like Ryan has said, Carol, their sex is a mercenary job. They have sex to procreate and get her pregnant. He said that, not me. Oh God, that would mortify me if that happened to me. To which I then responded, as the to which I then responded, as one does, because when you're two grown adults with children who are married in the context of talking about sex scenes with a movie that you're making with a person who is understanding that there are going to be sex scenes in a book based with a lot of sex in it, the only thing you really have to share are personal experiences. So I said, oh, well, some of the most beautiful moments have been when that's happened with me and my wife. And that was it.
So you were interested in shooting the scene from the female gaze.
I was interested in shooting all the sex scenes from the female gaze.
Did Miss Lively have a female gaze?
Does Miss Lively have a female gaze at all? Does Miss Lively know what a female gaze mean? Because and again, this is not from the deposition. This is my side comment. Because Miss Lively has told us multiple times she suffers from toxic masculinity. So why are we asking about Miss Lively's opinion on the female gaze? I would imagine so if she's a female.
And if she reads, because
Oh, wait,
no,
you said did you believe she had one?
no, I know that, but I'm
Oh, you're
I'm saying, and if she reads, because she really can't bring anything to the table when she doesn't read. Did you believe she had one?
of course.
Did you believe that that gaze was important in incorporating ideas about these various scenes should be shot?
Objection. Justin says, absolutely. That's why I incorporated all of Miss Lively's ideas without hesitation.
And it's your testimony that when you say Miss Lively said she would be mortified, that you believed she was referring to.
If that happened to her, were her words.
If that happened to her in a personal life.
Yes, it was a personal comment. Like it was inferring that if she was inferring that if her husband didn't finish, if she didn't finish her husband or climax her husband, that she would be mortified.
That's what
she said. That's what she said. So she said, oh, that would mortify me if that happened to me.
Okay, pause. Because who else would me be? Like that would be, I would be mortified if it happened to me. Who else is me when I'm talking and I'm
About
saying me?
Yeah.
Please, like, tell me if there's another way to interpret that. Your recollection as you sit here today about the meeting that occurred April of 2023.
Objection. I would imagine that's the.
So if somebody said they heard you say that, your under oath testimony would be they are mistaken.
My under oath testimony is that I don't believe I ever said anything to that effect to Brendan Sklenar.
Did you say to Miss Slate when you made the sexy comment that you could say that because your wife was there?
Objection. My recollection of that sexy comment was that it was all kind of said in one sentence.
And what was that one sentence?
Miss Slate walked in. As a director, I was doing whatever I was doing, getting the set ready. I looked over to her. She was wearing, I believe, black leather pants, which were designed to, I'm sure, look sexy. And without thinking, I said something to the effect of, oh, wow, those pants look sexy on you. And my memory, if it serves me correctly, my wife was in a room nearby. And I think in my head, I was like, oh, and then it cuts off. We jump to page 300. Can we take a minute? Thank you. Go ahead. Perfect timing. Go ahead.
I said, have you seen her in that black leather pants? He definitely said that to be kind to her, to boost her, because let me tell you, there's one thing those pants weren't. It was like a jumper set what do you call them? Overalls?
Romper.
Yeah, overalls or rompers. And there's one thing those weren't, and that was sexy.
I'm dying. I'm trying to find the leather pants. I'm trying to find a picture of the leather pants scene. It's not perfect. Can you see it?
Yep.
All right, here, let me see. So you guys, this is I wish I had like the full body. Um, this is as close as close as we're gonna get to it. What is the leather outfit? No?
Did Mr. Heath?
No.
Did anyone else?
I don't know.
Did you want Miss Lively to perform the birth scene without most of her clothes on?
No.
Did you ever tell Miss Lively that your wife had ripped her clothes off during childbirth?
Objection. I do not recall a conversation where I said she ripped her clothes off during childbirth.
Do you recall ever sharing any information with Miss Lively and speaking about the birth scene in the movie? Were you recounted information about your wife giving birth to Miss Lively?
Objection. Justin says, I remember numerous conversations where Miss Lively and I were talking about and I don't mean my birth, but our like collective births, where she shared personal information and then I shared personal information about my wife.
And as you sit here today, you can't recall any conversation in which the topic included the amount of clothing or the type of clothing that Miss Lively's character ought to wear during the birth scene.
Objection. Justin says, Shapiro says, objection. Justin jumps in. I don't remember anything specific about clothing. That was definitely not what we were talking about in terms of all the conversation around our births.
Did you ever ask Mr. Heath to share any portion of the video of his wife giving birth with Miss Lively?
I did.
Did you specify when you asked Mr. Heath to share that video with Miss Lively what he should share from it or how he should share from it?
Objection. The only video that I'm aware of is after the birth of his child. So I believe there's only one that I asked him to share. It jumps to In the Circle, Hugh Jackman, Sean Levy, Taylor Swift. By that point, as I testified earlier, I was essentially forced or threatened to step down off my film. I wasn't able to finish my own film, even considering it tested higher. Somehow the actress of my movie, who was not a producer, was able to take complete control of the film. By this point, Miss Lively had requested that my name be removed. So I had my film by credit removed. I was removed from the majority of the marketing materials, from the poster. I was being removed from the trailer. I know that she had been working with Taylor Swift to make sure that she got the song that she wanted in the film. And I assumed that was not a battle or a fight that I could ever win. All of the cast had unfollowed me, which is a very public thing to do right before a movie comes out, all in unison. And at that time, I was being threatened by my agency that if I didn't release a statement, then the gloves would come off. We know the statement the statement Ryan and Blake wrote for Jamie and Justin to read. Now, I don't know the exact sequence of the time in which I sent that text, but I will tell they cut us off. But yeah. I really appreciate you for coming to help out, though.
Oh, thank you for having me, and thanks for plugging in my website and sharing it with people. What I really wanted to accomplish is to just make sure that people had access to the filings. I know that when I first came to the case, I didn't know how to do it or how to get access to it. So putting all the resources in one place and then sharing TikTok creators' commentary around that specific filing, I think really helps people digest the information. And I thank you for sharing that with them.
So if you go on docketupdates.com, for example, this is what like a typical document would look like. If you're looking to get into this, or if you're looking to catch up, if you feel left behind, docketupdates.com is a way to feel like you can catch up. All right. So before I go, update on donations. These stickers were just made yesterday. My husband said, don't show them yet. Wait and make sure like everything is done. But I'm so excited. I couldn't keep it contained. So don't tell him about it. Don't tell him I'm showing you guys. But these stickers are going to go behind a certain item, right, that we're donating. We have bought 25 of them and we're giving to a community of kids and some adults who need it to get around is the clue. If you think you know what I'm talking about, put it in the comments and I will confirm if you're right. But these are going to go behind that item and we will take a picture of it broadly when it's done. But these were just done yesterday. I'm actually making them a little bit bolder so you can see it better. But what do you guys think about this? I'm very excited to show you guys more updates about donations and all the things we're getting done next week. Super, super excited. I hope you guys are as well. You can still donate up until the end of November or even further if you'd like. But I'm starting to get things done and ready. That way by December and Christmas, things are ready to be handed out. So I appreciate you guys for your support. I appreciate you for your donations. I appreciate you for being here. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, and I'll see you on the next one. Have yourselves a great day. Bye-bye.